Good morning, everyone. I first want to acknowledge that Mr. Floyd was laid to rest yesterday. I want to extend my thoughts and prayers to Mr. Floyd's family and community. To the men and women of the MPD, both our sworn and civilian team members, who have expressed to me over the past 2 weeks that they are not that former officer who I refuse to mention his name in this space, I want to say thank you for your continued professional service as public servants during some of the most challenging and dynamic situations that our city has experienced. To our city's residents and business owners, I want to say that I am deeply sorry for what you've had to endure as well these past several weeks. I wish that I could carry those burdens on my shoulders alone so that you did not have to. But I will tell you that I'm committed to making sure that moving forward, we will get better. As chief, I took an oath of office in ensuring the public safety of this city's residents, businesses, and visitors. And I'm here to tell you, you will not be abandoned. Over the past several days, I've heard from families and individuals who were concerned that if they were in need of a police response, that they would not get one. And I'm here to also tell you that we will be here for you. To our Minneapolis community members, faith leaders, social justice advocates, civic and youth leaders, along with the esteemed leadership of our local Urban League and NAACP, and also our community elders, I want to say thank you for our continued ongoing dialogue and solutions-focused conversations. But what our city needs now, more than ever, is a pathway and a plan that provides hope, reassurance, and actionable measures of reform. Because I work for and serve the people, this work must be transformational, but I must do it right. Now, this will not be accomplished overnight. It will take time. But I am confident that by being both vulnerable in shaping a new paradigm of peacekeeping and courageous in identifying and tearing down those barriers that have crippled relationships with our communities and that have eroded trust, we will have a police department that our communities view as legitimate, trusting, and working with their best interests at heart. Now, today I will highlight just a few of these key areas in my plan, and I will be scheduling additional media briefings and press statements over the course of the next several days and weeks. Beginning today, as chief, I am immediately withdrawing from the contract negotiations with the Minneapolis Police Federation. I plan to bring in subject matter experience and advisors to conduct a thorough review of how the contract can be restructured to provide greater community transparency and more flexibility for true reform. Now, this is not about employees' benefits or wages or salaries, but this is further examining those significant matters that touch on such things as critical incident protocol, our use of force, the significant role that supervisors play in this department, and also the discipline process to include both grievances and arbitration. Now, I believe I speak for my chief peers here in the state of Minnesota, as well as across our country, that there is nothing more debilitating to a chief from an employment matter perspective than when you have grounds to terminate an officer for misconduct and you're dealing with a third-party mechanism that allows for that employee to not only be back on your department, but to be patrolling in your communities. A second key measure of my plan of reform is to integrate new systems that use research on police behavior to connect officer performance data so department leaders can identify early warning signs of misconduct and provide proven strategies to intervene. Now, why hasn't reform in this area worked in the past? The academic experts who've studied this have revealed that supervisory action alone to remove problematic officers is very rare and significantly absent in larger departments. So for the first time in the history of policing, we here in Minneapolis will have an opportunity to use real-time data and automation to intervene with officers who are engaged in problematic behavior. I'm also very excited about the generous funding and research assistance by our own Minneapolis Foundation. As I close my comments before your questions, I also want to end by saying this. Race is inextricably a part of the American policing system. We will never evolve in this profession if we do not address it head on. Communities of color have paid the heaviest of costs, and that is with their lives. And our children must be safeguarded from ever having to contribute to the horrific and shameful chapter of this country's history. My plan will focus on imperative and respected community collaboration with an emphasis on the science of justice. I was born and raised in Minneapolis. And as a child growing up in this city, I did not see many peace officers that looked like me. And for the ones that I did, they were my true sheroes and heroes. Since I joined the ranks of this department, I have dedicated my service to not only helping, but healing. And I will continue to do that. Now, I also recognize that parts of this department were broken, and I brought attention to that several years ago. But I did not abandon this department then, and I will not abandon this department now. History is being written now, and I'm determined to make sure that we are on the right side of history. Thank you.